Hey, what's up? My name is Petrowski, and today I'm going to be showing you guys what is, in my opinion, the top 5 Pokemon to help you beat the PokeMMO storylines. I'm going to be going in order from which I believe is the least powerful Pokemon out of these 5 to the most powerful. The first one is also one of the most accessible Pokemon to you guys. So if you're on a budget or having trouble acquiring some of these Pokemon, watching these first few might be more helpful. And then the later ones are going to be the best ones to help crush through the storyline, but might be a little more difficult to get for some. But it's dependent on what region you're in, how much Pokemon you have, etc., etc. But let's go ahead and get into Pokemon number 5. So Pokemon number 5 is actually going to be a huge fan favorite in Gyarados. And a huge reason why Gyarados is so good for storyline is that he has a pretty nice move pool alongside an incredible setup move in Dragon Dance. So you can go ahead and set up a Dragon Dance or two in some of the tough fights or maybe some of the gym battles. You lead Gyarados, set up a Dragon Dance or two, make him let him survive those 2D dances, and then he pretty much is going to sweep the rest of that battle. Easy peasy, no problemo. Gyarados is pretty easy to get as a Pokemon. He evolves at level 20 from Magikarp. Magikarp's a very, very easy Pokemon to get. You can Old Rod pretty much anywhere in the game and acquire one. And a huge, huge, huge reason to run Gyarados is that he acquires almost every single move that you need through level up. So you don't have to waste any sort of TMs or any sort of egg breeding or anything complicated with him. You can just go ahead and find yourself a Magikarp with decent IVs. It'll learn Waterfall, Crunch, Dragon Dance, and then the 4th move is like optional. But those 3 moves alone, just having Waterfall, replace Aqua Tail with Waterfall. Aqua Tail has a 10% chance to miss, and Waterfall is much more consistent for storyline, so that's an important note. But having Waterfall, Dragon Dance, Crunch, and then some sort of other physical move, if you want to teach it Ice Fang, you can. Ice Fang's a super good option, which is also a level move. You can go ahead and teach it. If you really want to teach it a TM, you could teach it something like Earthquake or Power Whip, which is Power Whip's a grass type move, Earthquake's a ground type move, giving you more coverage. But yeah, it's just incredible. You can also teach it Rock Smash, honestly, for giving it an HM and also giving it a little bit of fighting type coverage, albeit a weak fighting type move. It's still nice for the storyline. Yeah, Gyarados is incredible, learns everything through level up, all the moves, very powerful stats. Very powerful setup move, the best budget option there is in my opinion. Moving on to Pokemon number 4, it's actually going to be Starmie. So the reason Starmie isn't higher, which some of you guys might be surprised by, is that it only has special attacking, and then the other Pokemon up here on this list kind of have more mixed, or at least are better in certain ways. So I'll go ahead and explain that. So Starmie is a special attacker Pokemon with some pretty decent base stat and some pretty decent special attack base stats. So 100 base stat, special attack, 115 base stat speed. You want to go ahead and have a moveset like this. The issue with Starmie is that it's also very expensive to moveset properly. So if you want things like Psychic, Ice Beam, and T-Bolt, I believe they're all TMs. The only move you're going to get for free on Starmie is going to be Surf. You actually do get Psychic on it, so that's pretty nice. But yeah, to get T-Ball and Ice Beam for that proper coverage across the entire board is going to be a bit of a pain, so just keep that in mind. Starmie also has a pretty nice ability in Natural Cure, which is going to help you save some money on Lumberries and stuff, so you can go ahead and swap it out if it gets statused. You want to run an item probably like Life Orb or Choice Specs on Starmie. It's going to be your choice. I think Life Orb is probably better on Starmie over Choice Specs because having that, being able to swap to multiple different moves within the battle is kind of Starmie's strong suit, and having that coverage. You could also go just like a Mystic Water, like the budget improve water moves by 20% item. Either going Mystic Water or Twisted Spoon to increase psychic damage is ideal. You don't really want to go like the Never Melt Ice or the Magnet to increase Ice Beam or Thunderbolt. Increasing those stab moves is much more important damage-wise, so it's an important thing to note. Moving on to Pokemon number 3. All right, Pokemon number 3 is also going to be a pretty big fan favorite, although this one's pretty bad. Don't copy this Tyranitar's, stats and stuff, but try to get a better one if possible. But, mild nature is interesting because Tyranitar can be a decently mixed Pokemon, which is an important thing to consider. But I run this set. I recommend this set. I recommend Earthquake, Rock Slide, Brick Break, Crunch. Brick Break can actually be super important and super solid. Rock Slide is important in double battles and hitting those flinches. Earthquake's just a great move. Crunch is one of your best stab moves. It's going to be 100% accurate. It's going to be reliable. The main reason why Tyranitar is so important and goes over Starmie is Sandstream. People don't realize how much more advanced the PokeMMO storyline is than the main games, and how important weather is. The amount of times gym leaders are going to use weather against you is going to be a pain in the butt. So make sure to have some sort of weather resetting Pokemon upon entry, if possible, within your storyline party. You can go ahead and teach something like Sunny Day or whatever you need to do, Hail, to kind of reset the weather. Rain Dance if you really need to, but it's best to have a Pokemon that just has an ability that comes in, resets the weather. Have something like Abomasnow that summons Hail, Pelipper that summons Rain, or Tyranitar that summons Sand. So having something like that on your team during storyline is extremely crucial and extremely underrated. Heavily recommend having some sort of weather resetter. Weather resetting is so important. I know I keep saying this, but it is very, very important. And having the coverage that Tyranitar has is also super nice. So that's it. Tyranitar is my number 3 pick. Moving on to pick number 2. All right, my number 2 pick for powerful Pokemon to run through the storylines with is actually going to be Blaziken. So a lot of people love Blaziken, and it's also a starter Pokemon, so it's pretty good news if you started in this region. What is it, third gen for Torchic? Yeah. So there's going to be a couple moves. The issue is that Blaziken is kind of expensive to TM, but not really, actually. Not so much. I think you're going to need U-Turn. I believe U-Turn is a TM that you're going to have to teach it, which U-Turn is pretty important. So the most crucial thing about Blaziken is that it has 120 base attack and 110 base special attack, but then the speed is lacking. So the thing you're going to want for Blaziken, it's pretty important, is you're going to want Choice Scarf. Choice Scarf or Life Orb if you can like speed EV train your Blaziken or get it to be faster than the gym leaders in some way. But if something outspeeds your Blaziken, you're going to be in a world of hurt. But as long as your Blaziken can outspeed your opponent, you're going to one-shot everything and just totally crush and stomp storylines. Blaziken's honestly my biggest recommendation, as I think it's like a decently easy Pokemon to acquire, especially if you're playing 3rd gen, and then it's just a great mixed attacker. It can do it all. It does everything. It has U-Turn to reposition. Really, really beautiful Pokemon. But you're not going to want this moveset. Don't look at this. This is a competitive moveset. You're more so going to want safer moves without recoil. Like 3 of these moves have recoil. You're not going to want that in storyline. You need more longevity. So you're going to want something like Flamethrower, something like Brick Break over High Jump Kick, and then Brave Bird is kind of optional. You could just put Aerial Ace there if you really want, but you could put a ton of other things. You could put Peck if you need to early game. Something like... You could also just keep Brave Bird and have one. Having one recoil move wouldn't be so bad, but... Yeah, you could also put something like Swords Dance there if you want to go set up. You put Rock Slide. Rock Slide's a very nice option, but you get the point. You can have a bunch of options on Blaziken, but just make sure you don't have 3 recoil moves like this. This is a competitive Pokemon. Do not copy this moveset. Make sure you have some more longevity. Keep that U-Turn, Flamethrower, Brick Break, Aerial Ace / Rock Slide, and that should do you a lot of good. All right, moving on to my most recommended, my number 1 pick for a Pokemon to crush the storyline. There's actually 2 Pokemon in this slot, but it's just going to be Moxie Pokemon in general. So for those who don't know, there are 2 Moxie Pokemon in PokeMMO, and Moxie is an ability that says it boosts the attack after knocking out any Pokemon. So what's going to happen is you're going to enter this sort of snowball effect. You're going to lead with a Moxie Pokemon, you're going to kill one of your opponent's Pokemon, and you're going to gain a +1 attack boost, which for those who don't know, +1 is like pretty huge. I don't know the exact stats that it raises, but it is it's a full stage, and people don't realize how much raising a full stage like does in combat. It's very, very important. So you're going to have 2 main options. You're going to have Crocodile and Scrafty. Crocodile is the lazier option and the easier option, and in my personal opinion, the better option overall. It's more consistent. But Scrafty is a good option if you're really having trouble with a certain gym and you need to Dragon Dance set up, because Dragon Dance can make him extremely, extremely powerful. So Crocodile, you're going to want Earthquake, Crunch, Rock Slide for the storyline, and then Brick Break. I think it's a great move. I think it's the same exact moveset as Tyranitar. It just covers so much, gives him a solid crunch stab. If you never know what move to click on Krook, and your opponent either like is flying, so it dodges Earthquake, and all those other things. Usually Crunch is a great move to use. If you can hit it with Earthquake, go ahead and hit it with Earthquake. But a lot of times, if you need to hit something for neutral damage and it dodges Earthquake, you want to crunch it, get that stab damage. You can also put Black Glasses on Crocodile. I do that a lot during storylines runs, and that helps a ton with crunch damage. And then moving on to Scrafty, so Scrafty's going to have a slightly different moveset. You almost kind of need high jump kick for Scrafty, but it's definitely a risky thing, in storyline. Missing that high jump kick in storyline can cost you certain gym battles or certain runs, so it's pretty scary. It's up to you. You can go ahead and replace it with Brick Break. I believe you can just learn Brick Break, but yeah, so with Scrafty, you're going to want to lead and then Dragon Dance either once or twice if you can, depending on, how long you can survive. Scrafty does have some decent bulk within his base stats, having 115 base special defense and 115 base defense, so pretty naturally bulky Pokemon, which is surprising in my opinion, but pretty cool Pokemon. Dragon Dance once or twice, and then Sweep with high jump kick, Crunch, and Zen Headbutt, which is a super cool option to have on this Pokemon. Whew, but I believe that covers everything. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any questions, please let me know in the comments. I really do love answering questions, and I check them a ton to be as fast as possible. Like this video if you liked it, disliked it if you disliked it. Leave comments, like I said. Subscribe for more daily PokeMMO content. Ring that bell for notifications for any sort of PokeMMO catching events, PokeMMO guides, money making, storyline help, competitive, PvP, etc., etc., all the good stuff. Thank you guys again. Hope you're having a great day. Peace and love, Petrowski.